Okay. So I'm going to show you guys how to do one of each type of problem that's going to be on the test. You guys get to work on your own on the rest of these. All right, starting with number one. Numbers 1 through 3 are the types of problems where you're going to have to find the greatest common factor. Now, don't write this down, but you'll know when to do the greatest common factor and when to not do kidnap instead, because your answer choices are going to have a greatest common factor outside of the parentheses. So you would see a number with your trinomial plus a number or whatever, okay? It would look something like that. Versus if you have to factor something, you see two binomials in your answer choices. So, and I'm pretty sure it is also included in the instructions to do the greatest common factor, but that's not something that would be included on the STAR test. On the STAR test, it will not tell you do the greatest common factor, okay? So when we are working with greatest common factor, we're looking for two things. What are those? We're looking to see if all terms, if each one of our terms have a number, and what else? Variable. And if they do all have a variable, it needs to be the same variable. Okay. So all three terms have a variable. All three terms have a number. All three terms have a variable. All three terms have the same variable. So we're going to create two charts. I'm going to do one for my numbers, 5. They don't have a whole lot of factors, so I'm just going to make it short. Short lines. 5. I'm not there yet. Let me create the one of each type of question. One greatest common factor, one kidnap, one not kidnap. All right, so greatest common factor, you always do the steps in the reverse order. First thing you want to do is find the factors. Your first step is to find the factors. So what are the factors of 5? And what are the factors of 10? And that's it. What about 15? 3 times 5, right? Now, the second letter in GCF is common. Now we have to second step, find the ones they have in common, okay? Now, there's one number they're always going to have in common. Which one is it? 1, okay? What else do they have in common? 5. Now, the most important step is the first letter, G, greatest. That's the third step. You have to find the greatest. It's not enough to simply find any factor, because remember, with difference of squares, if you find any factor, what's left inside, you won't be able to take the square root of it. You have to find the greatest common factor. So the greatest number that they have in common is which one? 5. So we circle the 5, underline the other one. Okay, now we also said that they have the x's in common. So I'm going to make a chart for that. They all have at least one x. X cubed, x squared, and x. X cubed is having how many x's? 3. Should I zoom in? I can zoom in. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. X squared is 2, and then x. Now, what do we do with these? We group them. You have to group them. Now, can I make 2 groups because there's a pair right here? No, if you have 3 terms, it has to go through all 3 terms. One common mistake that people are still making is, even though your group is of 3 x's, it's not x cubed. It's counted as one group. So what will be on the outside of the parentheses? 5x. We circled one group of x's, so it's just 1. If it's 2 groups, x squared, 3 groups, x cubed, so forth. Now we got to look at that first term. What all was left over? The number 1. 2 of the x's are not circled, so 1x squared. Bring down the minus sign. In the middle, circle to the 5, left a and one uncircled x, so 2x. Bring down the plus sign, circle to the 5, left a 3. Close it off, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and give you a hint. Be careful with number 3. Notice how it has XY, XY, but there's no XY for 28, okay? Now, numbers 4 through 16, in other words, all the rest of them, you're gonna factor by using the diamond, kidnap, or just your difference of squares method that we learned on Monday, okay? I'm gonna do number 4 with you, then we'll flip over to number 9. Number 4, you are going to use the diamond. Where's the first, since we have a trinomial, where's the first place you should be looking? Nope. The first one, you want to check to see if there's a number in front of x squared, but since there isn't, I go straight to my diamond or my x. Last number falls to the top, 16. What number goes in the middle? 10. So now find the factors, find the numbers that multiply. I'm not going to go over the calculator steps because you've written that in your notes and you've been practicing it. 8 and 2, 2 and 8, doesn't matter. Now that I have my factors, I want to put those into the in my parentheses to create 2 what? Binomials. Now, what variable are we working with? So x is going to go in the front. Since the first number is a positive 2, the first binomial is going to be x plus 2. The second number is positive 8, so the second binomial, x plus 8. Now, what is going to be included into this one since it's originally a function? F of x. You'll see f of x in your answer choices, okay? When you're ready, flip it over. And I'll come back to number 9. We're gonna go down to, I don't know what number that is. Ready? All right. We're gonna go down to number 11. Similar process, but what's the difference here? There's a 2 in front of the x squared. That means we have to do what? Kidnap. And what does it mean to kidnap? Multiply, so 2 times 21. That changes our equation or expression to x squared plus 13x plus what? 42. Now we can go ahead and put it into our x, into our diamond. What number goes on the top? And what number on the bottom? Okay. 6 and 7, so 6 times 7 is 42, 6 plus 7 is 13. Now that I have my factors, I can put them into parentheses to create 2 binomials. So what variable goes in the front? X, and the first binomial will be what? X plus 6, the second one? X plus 7. Are we done? Why do we have to divide? We kidnapped to begin with. Whatever number you're circled is the number that you're going to divide, because I've had some people try to divide by that middle number. We didn't circle that middle number. We didn't do anything with it. We kidnapped the 2. Now, what happens when you simplify or divide 6 by 2? So it gives you x plus 3. What about 7 over 2? It gives you the same exact fraction. So correct, you do bottoms up. I've had some people try to replace the x with the 2. No, 2 comes up to the front in front of x. It's still going to be including x, 2x plus 7, not 2 plus 7. What else will be? Oh, no, that's it. Got it? All right, let's go up to number 9. Questions on any of these so far? All right, number 9. How are we able to recognize when we have to use difference of squares? There's a minus sign in the middle of 2 terms, minus sign in the middle of 2 terms. So that means the first thing I'm going to attempt is to take the square root. If you cannot, or if it gives you a decimal, that means there's a greatest common factor. But if I take the square root of x squared, I do get a perfect value. What is the square root of x squared? X. And what's the square root of 36? 6. 6. You first find the square root. The minus sign in the middle or the difference in the middle is just to recognize that this is difference of squares. You don't include, you cannot type -36 in the calculator. Cannot do that, okay? Now we're ready to put in the binomial. Remember, you put your terms back into your binomial in the same order. X and 6, X in the front, 6 in the back. And the last and hardest step is to remember to add and subtract, plus minus. Yes, once again, it can be minus plus if that's how you feel more comfortable, okay? Questions? All right, now the hardest one, 15 and 16. So we're gonna go over to 15. 15 states that the area, how do you find the area? Let's just stop there. How do you find the area? Multiply, what are you multiplying? Base times height or length times width. In this case, it's gonna be length times width because those are the two that they give us. You multiply it, but after I multiply, I'm supposed to get 6x squared plus 5x minus 6, okay? That's my area, that's the total. It gives us the width. It says, and the width is 3x, Lord, 3x minus 2. What is the rectangle's length? So I'm gonna go ahead and label my 3x minus 2 here. What is the length? How do you think we're going to solve this? I cannot use box method because I only have one of my factors. Everybody remember the question, which one is a factor? Well, I'm giving you one of them. How do you give me the other one? You still kidnap, correct. You still kidnap because at the end of, let me go back up a little bit. Notice at the end of kidnap, you get how many binomials? 2. So if I already give you one of them, it'll give you the other. Don't let a problem like this confuse you. You don't necessarily need the 3x minus 2. You're solving the trinomial. So yes, let's go ahead and kidnap. So 6 times -6, and that's going to give us what? X squared plus 5x minus 36. And we're gonna go ahead and put that into our diamond and into our X. What number at the top? And at the bottom? 5. Find the factors. 9 minus 4. All right, what do I do with that 9 minus 4? To create 2. All right, you might want to write small because this is you'll see why in a little bit. The first binomial will be what? X plus 9 in the second one? X minus 4. Now, are we done? Why not? You got to give the number back. You got to give the number that you originally kidnapped back. So we're going to divide by 6. This time I am going to show my calculator. Why do you think? Well, it gives you another fraction. You always try to simplify any and every fraction. And if you decide to do the old school way, 9 divided by 6, it'll give you a decimal. So you have to type math enter. That's why I'm always suggesting that you use alpha y equals, because it will automatically reduce it. 9 over 6 changes to a new fraction, which is 3 over 2. So what do we do since the fraction changed? Bottoms up with the 6. We have to rewrite the binomial with the new fraction and then do bottoms up. So I'm going to grab the 2, move it to the front. The first binomial becomes what? 2x plus 3. Now, since 2x plus 3 is not the same as 3x minus 2, I'm assuming this one's going to give me 3x minus 2, but let's keep going. What is negative 4 over 6? X minus 2 over 3. And since it is still a fraction, what do? Bottoms up. And that one becomes 3x minus 2. Notice this one matches this one. right? So 2x plus 3 must be the length. See it? Still the same type of problem. They just put it in real world situation type thing. Okay. All right, you guys try the rest of those.